Yes.
Thank you for inviting me. Can you hear me?
Yes, please. If we could have your video feed as well,
Okay.
that would be great.
Oh, okay. Okay, so maybe for people to see my face.
Yes, please.
Maybe for good, yes, for good bandwidth, maybe internet.
Okay.
Can I off now, or you want?
All right,
Okay.
sure.
Thank you very much. Thank you for inviting me for this 22nd Sambus GEO conference. So without wasting more time, because you have already introduced me, I'm going to present you how we use GIS ECOWAS. And I think Samuel told us what is ECOWAS, which is the Economic Community of West Africa. The headquarters, I'm sure maybe most of you, they know ECOWAS. The headquarters is in Nigeria, in Abuja. And I'm in the early warning directorate. So I'm going to show cases, in using GIS. Can you go next? To the next slide, please. So this is the outline of my presentation. First of all, I will tell you about my directorate, which is the early warning, ECOWAS early warning directorate. I will say a few words about our collaboration with Esri and Sambus, and I will focus on how we use GIS in ECOWAS, and especially in a project which is the SDI Project, Special Data Infrastructure, and what are the outcomes for now, of this project and the way forward, and the challenges and the perspectives. So next slide, please. So our collaboration with Esri, I will start with Esri because the Sambus people, they told you their relationship with Esri, So the main house, if I can call it like this, is Esri. The ECOWAS used to partner to collaborate with Esri since 2014. As you can see, pay visit to the general manager, the owner, I think, Mr. Jack. You can see he's my director, who is in the blue suit, and two of my colleagues were on the left side. And the pictures down on the left, you can see we are here with some of the SD staff, and we invite them in 2019 in Abuja when we were doing the assessment of our system platform, our platform. So with Esri, we did some trainings, on the to build historic maps, analysis, to build dashboards, So, and also in this project, which I will talk about more, we did some work together, and we landed with some website, some ingestion tool, and other stuff. So next slide, please. So next slide, please. Here, I want to just talk about our collaboration with Sambus. Okay, moving fast. Can you go back, please? Okay, so we collaborate with Sambus, which give us technical support. We want to thank you a lot because they are very available at any time. We just ask for support. They are ready, and you can see both from Sambus some usernames. Because we have a GeoPortal, and we need credits to run it. And recently, we even acquire some ArcGIS licenses with Sambus. So we have been collaborating with them since many years. So once again, we thank them for the support, all of them. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. So the early warning, the ECOWAS early warning directorate, the early warning and response system in the ECOWAS. What is our mission? Is to provide timely, corroborate, and reliable early warning reports that serve as a catalyst to appropriate timely and effective responses, which address threats to human security at local, national, and regional level. And we took our mandate from the Chapter 4 of the protocol, the 1919 protocol, which is for conflict prevention, management, resolution, peacekeeping, and security. And the Article 23 for this protocol, which establish an observation and monitoring center, which shall be responsible for data collection, analysis, and preparation of reports for the use of the president. And this center should collaborate with UN, African Union, European Union, and research centers, and all other relevant international and regional organizations. So early warning, the ECOWAS early warning, is responsible for the prevention in the ECOWAS region. So next slide, please. Next slide. So as such, I'm just giving you an overview of our system reporter, which is called ECOWARN, ECOWAS Warning and Response Network. So we have 77 field monitors based on 5 field monitors in each of the member states. We have 15 member states. So in Nigeria, we have 7 field monitors, and our approach, our early warning approach is a data, orientation, so it's data oriented, it's based on data. So that's why we have these 77 field monitors who are collecting data, incident and situation report, based on 56 indicators, daily and weekly for the situation report. So we have thousands of entries, data entries in the early warning platform report. So we have a network, as I said, and in that network, we have civil society. We are collaborating with the Continental Early Warning System, which is called GEOS, and also we are collaborating. We have established national early warning and response mechanism in each member states. So we are producing daily highlights, situation reports, country policy brief, incident reports, security alerts, early warning reports, thematic reports. And we are covering 5 thematics, 5 sectors: crime and criminality, security, governance and human rights, environment, and health and pandemics. That's the 5 sectors we are covering, talking about human security in the ECOWAS region. Next slide, please. So how we use GIS in ECOWAS? So GIS was introduced in ECOWAS in 2010 to provide support for early warning and response through analysis and mapping. Since the integration of GIS into the early warning, several geospatial projects relevant for visualizing spatial dimension of conflicts and peace indicators, as well as other aspects of human security. So I think one of my predecessors mentioned it, when we use GI collecting incidents or situation report, all this, they have, location attributes. That's why GIS, is used in early warning to do mappings, to do analysis, because of that geolocation, dimension. Next slide, please. Next slide. So we have a platform where our field monitors, they are sending their reports. We have, I said earlier, the incident report and the situation report. On the left side, that snapshot, you can see we have here incident reports. You know, you have the name, sorry, can you go back, please? Where you can have the name of the reporter. You have the name of the reporter, where is reporting, the country, you know, what happened. We have, as I said, for the situation report, 56 indicators. Yeah, that one is for the sectors, but for the incident, we have, you know, different type of incidents like related arrests, drug trafficking, abduction, you know, flooding, you know. So for the situation report, we have the indicators. It can be related to agri, to economy, or some or health, you know. And we are trying to measure what is the status of the incident, you know, what is the potential of escalation of the incident, what were the response, you know, which was provided by the authorities, and what is the risk group, whether it's youth, whether it's elderly people, you know. So that's the ECOWARN platform, you know, for the reporting of incident and situation report, and is an open source, you know. So I want to say the ECOWARN platform is just for the field monitors and the staff, the early warning, but we are using open source, you know, external information to complete, you know, the ECOWARN data. Okay, can you go to the next slide, please? So we have in the early warning, ECOWAS early warning, we have some GIS technologies and tools. I already mentioned the ECOWARN reporter, which is an online platform for reporting incident and situation. We have the GIS using GeoPortal softwares like AppMap, ArcGIS Online, ArcGIS Pro. We conduct country risk and vulnerability assessment using GIS to identify hotspot, you know, and to define itinerary during the missions, for the missions. So the hotspots, you know, is where most of the incidents they happen, and so we can do surveys in those areas when we are doing the country's vulnerability assessment. We have also this station, which we got from the MESA project, which was the monitoring for environment and security in Africa, which is replaced by GMS. I'm sure most of you, they know, they are aware about that change. And with that station, which is still working for some organization, the one in ECOWAS, we are about with the support of University of Ghana to make it run again, you know, but we were able to get some data related to vegetation, rainfall, bushfire, temperature, and evapotranspiration. So next slide, please. Next slide, please. So these are some products, you know, with using GIS we do in the early warning directorate. So as I mentioned before, we are focusing on human security, you know. So that's why on this map you can see incidents related to terrorist attacks and other incidents like ethnic conflicts, communal and agro-pastoralistic conflicts. So just to show how those incidents in the region, they are overlapping, and also, as you know, how the coastal countries now they are affected by the terrorist incident. Recently, you have Togo and Benin. Next slide, please. Next slide. Next slide. So here we're using GIS. We are mapping the kidnapping and the forced disappearance, and also the maritime security in the region. Next slide is just some products we do, you know, by using GIS. Next slide, please. So also, yes, the protests and riots, in the region from 2018 to July 2022, as you can see, there is one peak around 2020, and you can see, you remember the NSAS in Nigeria, which makes this the number of incidents rise in 2022. So next slide, please. Next slide. So using GIS, we are supporting some departments in the ECOWAS Commission, like the Directorate of Environment, using the e-station. And also we are supporting the ECOWAS standby force, for some missions where they need maps to see exactly, to know the areas, they are covering, they have to secure. And also we are supporting the Directorate of Political Affairs for election observation mission. Next slide, please. So I will focus more about the SDI project, which is the spatial data infrastructure. The ECOWAS Early Warning Directorate is exploring during these last years ways to improve the discovery, sharing, and use of geographic information to improve decision-making in West Africa. After having some technologies, using some technologies, having the GeoPortal, and trying to assist, the management, the ECOWAS management, the departments. And as you know, ECOWAS has a broad mandate, in education, in agri, in economy, in security, and in telecom. So we need, geographic information data, so that we can assist, implementation of projects, and also monitoring, assessing projects. That's why we try to put in place this spatial data infrastructure, also to enable the member state to have access, to data, you understand, in different areas. That's why we try to put in place this spatial data infrastructure. Next slide, please. So this, the objective of the project is to establish and test key components of a regional SDI central node to support decision-making related to all topics of interest to ECOWAS and member countries, with particular emphasis placed on promoting the following goals: increase collaboration, sharing, and access to geodata in the ECOWAS region, improve monitoring and response to humanitarian and environmental crises, increase the use of geographic information for decision-making by the government sector, the private sector, NGOs, academia, and other relevant stakeholders, increase citizen engagement, promote sustainable economic growth. These are the objectives, behind this project. So next slide, please. So, as you know, we are facing a lot of challenges related to land use, to urbanization, to climate change, water, energy, biodiversity, ecological change, globalization, national security, and all this, you agree with me, we need geographic information, data to monitor all this, Next slide, please. So the outcome of the SDI, because we have started this project, we are going to engage the second phase. And in the first phase, we put in place a geospatial, and this geospatial enable us to access to digital geospatial data, and also to have access to some applications. Okay, next slide, please. Next slide, please. So we, with this GeoPortal, as I said, we have some access to some functionalities. I talk about the story maps. I talk about the dashboard we did, and also the ECOWARN data, the data we have collected since 2008. We were able with this in this project to have an ingestion tool, which enabled us to put to develop dashboard using the ECOWARN data. So also we have this web GIS portal, and also we have an incident and situation dashboard, story maps, and also to have some map visualization application for the ECOWARN. So next slide, please. So here is an example of a story map we did. There are other ones we did, and it was on the challenges of illegal migration in ECOWAS region, where we try to look at the pull and push factors and the profile of the migrants and the roads and also the data gaps. Next slide, please. So here we have a dashboard of incidents, based on the ECOWARN data we have collected through the platform. So as you can see, we can do some query by date, the type of the incident, which incident we want to query, the countries, the 15 member states, and also we have some diagrams and pie charts, and the maps, showing the incident. So we were able in this project to build this dashboard, using ECOWARN data, the data we have collected with the support of our field monitors. Next slide, please. So this dashboard is for the situation report, and we have a code color, so the scale is from 0 to 100. And we can see based on the color which country is more concerned about whether it's social risk or economic risk or political risk, or here we have the overall, So and we can query also by date, by country, and also we can overlay the incident to see, to have an explanatory, based on the incident, to explain what caused this situation, Next slide, please. Next slide. So in this project also, we were able to build an election monitoring tool. And this election monitoring tool is for the observers, the ECOWAS observers, to be able to send reports through an application, through forms they can find on the tablets, we use when we go to election. And I think since 2020, we started with the election in Ivory Coast. And since then, we are monitoring election, we are observing election using now digital tool. Before ECOWAS used to use the observers, they used to fill papers, and the analysts in the situation room, they used to call them, everything was on paper, but now ECOWAS is using a digital tool. As you can see on this image, it was the training of the observers on how to fill the forms, and this election monitoring tool enable us to monitor the election from the opening to the closing, and even the result. There is a form for the result, So as you can see, we have a dashboard, which will just display during election day in the situation room, where you can have the head of the mission and the analyst. So next slide, please. So we are planning to continue this SDI project, by involving now the member states, So like the central, the SDI node. Okay, can you go ahead? Can you display the next slide, please? So during this first phase, we have built with the assistance of ESRI a landing site. Okay, so we can have access to the landing site. And next slide, please. When we want we plan to have this project, we said we can go to the member states, ask them the data which are available in their countries, to start with what they already have. But we in the past, we faced some challenge doing it in that way, okay? Because we have other kind of project, but it was not called SDI. But this time, what the plan is to have something, which we can now move to the member state to present it to them and to see how now we can populate, the existing project, the existing, platform. That's what the way we want to do this, put in place this SDI. We said in what we are going to put in place, the data, the areas, the dimensions we are going to cover is agri, boundaries, businesses, community safety, education, health, housing, and transportation. Can you go ahead, and environment also? Yeah, can you show the next slide, please? So these are the categories of data we are going to collect. So, and we said we have in ECOWAS different departments. When doing this project, we said, Esri, Sambus, you have solutions. You have already built some solutions. How can we incorporate, design, those solutions, incorporate them in the SDI, so that the member state, the departments in ECOWAS, when they are using this SDI, when they access to the platform, they will see solutions, So these are the how we want to, go about this project, having already set up solutions, So next slide, please. And as you can see, we have this ECOWAS coronavirus hub because Esri enabled during the pandemic, which is still going on, some solutions to build, some applications, and we did this hub, to help, to responses, So we have this ECOWARN incident. I already mentioned we have the ingestion tool, but we try to redo it so that because we have a new platform and we have incorporated new, how do you call it, new components like the response. Because before the incidents we were collecting, we did not, collect the responses which was, brought by the member states. This time we have added that dimension, to see what are the responses, provided by the member states. So the ingestion tool is something we are going to, reconfigure during this SDI project. Next slide, please. Next slide. So during the first phase, we have built this float application. As I said, we don't want to go to the department, ECOWAS departments or the member state with empty hands. We want go with something tangible. That's why we built this float application And I think Dr. Newmo mentioned it, I think it's the same vein where we have this web app, and a dashboard and a forecasting component, for 6 days, forecasting, so that we can prevent, some flooding in the areas. And we have incorporated the population data, the land cover, especially crop, and also some infrastructure like hospitals, and we use some hydrological data and topographic data, So that is it. It's just for us to run it, we need the enterprise solution. If not, the template, is already done, but to run it, we need enterprise solution, which we doesn't have for now. So next slide. This is the dynamic web map. Next slide for the flood application. And here we have the time-enabled dashboard where we can just click in one region, to see how many hospital is flooded, how many people, are involved, how many the land cover, the crop, the areas, which is flooded. So next slide, please. So now coming to the challenges, I think my time is finished, but just allow me to say some words on the challenges. And I think my predecessor, they mentioned most of them, lack of financial resources, because most of this project is not on ECOWAS budget, is partners, but I can tell you, we internally we can get resources, to finance this SDI, So the cost of licenses and equipments, I mentioned the enterprise solution, and also some other tools which are available to us, but because of the cost, is a little challenge. So capacity building, due to the rapid change in the area of GIS technology. I don't need to insist on that, how technology is, changing. And also in terms of awareness, to know what is available, the quality and the potential application and where to access it. So I think we need, to be aware of, because most of the organization, they are doing something, working on project, but is in isolation. So I think we need to build a very broad community, GIS community, so that we can, exchange frequently. And can you go to the last slide, please? So in terms of perspectives, we wish to enhance our collaboration with Esri and Sambus, and also to get more functionalities and data and solutions, for the SDI project. And also we need to assist the member state, in the establishment of the SDI nodes. And I talk about capacity building to strengthen our capacity of ECOWAS, for system GIS productivity, and also as we just acquire the ArcGIS Pro, we need training. I'm sure Sambos will take note, and also to expand the use of GIS inside ECOWAS and spatial data to enhance early warning data analysis and early action intervention. Thank you very much for the opportunity you are given to me. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ismaila Gueye, and thank you very much for making it, cramping everything up to fit in. We are most grateful. That was quite insightful. I'm sure if anybody thought there was nothing going on in ECOWAS or thought there wasn't much GIS application ongoing in ECOWAS, they would have a change of mind, because by your presentation clearly shows that there's a lot going on in terms of GIS when it comes to the ECOWAS. Thank you.